those other cops don't want to. Taking fire from every scumbag in town.
They didn't earn it. I don't feel bad about taking it.
All about bringing force down on the street. Why don't y'all take a look at what you got going on under your own roof?
I never put the money above us.
How long you think that's gonna last?
I don't want Vic in our lives anymore.
You're investigating me?
Vic Mackey beats suspects. He deals drugs. And that's just all in one day. I wonder what he's gonna do tomorrow.
Everybody down! Hey, my day's just getting started.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Chew the Fat, the detailed breakdown of films and shows that we do under that label. And this is the continuation of season 2 of The Shield. And we are doing episodes 7 and 8. The Inside Man will be joining us tonight, but he is running a little bit late. However, two of my other regular panelists are here. Let me bring them on. We have the Northern English Bastard, who's going to be assisting me today because my voice is a little bit knackered.
No problem, you beautiful bastard. I am on hand to help.
Yeah, much appreciated. Oh, still got this tickly cough. It's doing my head in. Anyway, we also have Darth Plato. Is your audio working?
You do. Does it work?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on, guys.
No problem. And it is working, so very good. Okay, fab. Yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Spread the word about the channel. We've got loads of interesting content on here. More to come. Industry interview 99 will be this week. Just trying to pin down exactly who that is. I've got various people waiting to get back to me on availability. And then the following week, we have industry interview 100, where I'll be bringing back on my guests from Industry Interview 1, which is actor Jason Flemyng and the Critical Drinker. So, and we're going to do, with that stream, it's going to be a little bit different from stuff we've done before. We'll be picking out our favourite films in 6 specific genres and talking about why we like them. So that's what we're going to be doing on February the 12th. Anyway, okay, let's get back to tonight. So Northern, did you want to bring up your stills?
Yes, give me a second. Let's get on till present.
No problem. I'll just sit here coughing.
And here we are.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to say something briefly about the episode, and then today, in order to rest my voice, Northern is going to just do the summary for us. The first episode we're talking about is Barnstormers. It's written by Kim Clements, Scott Rosenbaum, and Shawn Ryan, and it's directed by Scott Winnett. So, Northern, do you want to take it away?
Okay. Vic is tasked with helping an abused woman, which gives him the opportunity to get close to social worker Emma. An old flame gets Shane into more trouble. Daniel's job is in jeopardy even more.
Calling her an old flame, I think, is a little bit loose.
Yes, I use that term very loosely. And Claudette tries to help Dutch regain his confidence and keep his job when a murder-rape case ends up on his lap. Meanwhile, Jules is prepared to complain about his past to his loving fiancé, but will she be so forgiving? And is Dutch willing to betray his morals in order to collar a man he knows to be guilty?
Oh, someone's calling me. Let me turn it off. Sorry about that, guys. I'll put my phone on mute after this. So do continue, Northern. Sorry.
No, that's it. Just a very brief summary of the plot.
Blimey, you did go brief. Okay, well that's all right.
Very brief.
That'll save time. The Inside Man is here.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Yeah. Yes, not bad.
Yes, you sound like you're out of breath.
Yeah, kind of. Just yeah, a little bit of a last minute thing that I've been cajoled into doing. So yeah, so I got something to complete before tomorrow.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a bit of a rushed old day, to be honest, because it only came through. Call only came through like sometime this morning, about 10 o'clock this morning. So of course I don't like to turn anything down, but there you go, you know. So, whew.
Well, that's
So how are we?
Trying to turn the odd thing down. You can't be on every single stream, you know, or is it a job? Sorry.
Oh no, it's yeah, it's real world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No problem then.
yeah.
Oh, this isn't a film industry thing.
Yes, yeah.
It is. Okay, well, that is the real world for you. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So so how is everyone? How was last night, by the way?
mate, I'm knackered. I managed to go to both clubs because I was double booked.
Yeah.
And I mean, sorry, this is a bit off topic, but I'll show you quickly. Somebody took the most fantastic picture of me while I was dancing on stage.
Yeah.
And it's just come out like really, you know, kind of it's just nuts. It's a nuts photo. One of those pictures that you're like, oh my god, look at that. Yeah, this was me dancing on stage at the second club last night.
Oh yeah.
So as you can see, it's official. I'm Jesus in this picture. The second coming of Lance dancing.
We are not worthy.
So and Lord Toxic's got me booked for gay clubs all over the country now after this. So talking of the devil, he's here.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. How are you? Okay, so Northern has just done a very brief breakdown of episode 7 for us. And an interesting episode. Let me get those stills up again. Can you scroll through these, Northern?
Yes, I will.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so it's funny. Episode 7 is sort of like there's nothing massively dramatic that happens, yet everything that happens is still important.
Yeah,
that's kind of the way I sort of felt about the episode. I mean, it felt above average. Didn't feel average for me anyway.
No.
But and I mean also it's that this episode has got a sort of cracking cliffhanger ending. It's directed by Scott Winnett, who he directed I think he was a producer on 30 something, which was the show done by
Ed Zwick.
Ed Zwick, yeah, one of my favorite directors. He's directed 2 episodes of Fargo. He's done 13 episodes of True Blood, 2 episodes of Breaking Bad. Currently an executive producer on a TV show called Sacred Lies. This is a real jobbing director and producer. So someone at the top of his game. I mean, this would have been earlier in his career, of course.
Yeah.
But he's gone on to direct things like Better Call Saul, Preacher, Grace and Frankie, which is a show I absolutely love, actually. Lone Star, Californication, Huff. The Shield was kind of, I mean, he'd already done he's got his start in 30 something directing 9 episodes. So he must have been tight with Ed Zwick. I guess they probably collaborated together. Yeah. And and did some episodes of My So-Called Life, which I think Zwick was also involved in. So side director explains that the direction is very solid in the episode. We have the return of the penis flytrap in this episode. I think
Tulips.
Yeah, tulips. It is this episode she's back in, right? Yeah.
Yeah, after she got
her
rap done.
Yeah, played by Nicole Hiltz. ramping up her attributes to the hilt. There's kind of two plot lines here. There's the one that revolves around Tulip's trying to basically say to Shane, look, I've got a great tip for you. Whereas actually she's just using Shane to drop her ex-boyfriend in the shit who's pissed her off. I mean, she's basically a horrible person.
Yeah, she is.
And then you've got the second plot line is, I suppose, Dutch trying to kind of get back on his A game. And then we have this third plot line about this abuse case where the Vic has intervened with this woman who's getting the shit kicked out of her by her boyfriend every night, but is too afraid to leave him, as is often the case. And even with that, Vic, it feels like Vic's got an agenda because he's really just trying to gain favor with Emma Prince, whose pants he wants to get into. So yeah, and we got some interesting guest actors in this episode as well. So yeah, overall, I think this episode is very much about them doing police stuff. It's, you know, the detectives are detecting, they're working a case. Vic's kind of doing his thing, but with an agenda. But it's very much a police work episode, you know. People are going about their jobs. There's a bit of subplot with Julian as well. We will get more of that in the next episode. But yeah, I liked it overall. So yeah, it's a good solid episode, and also the ending is damn really yeah, quite shocking when we find Ronnie and he's had his face burned by Armadillo. So yeah, Northern, your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was a very good episode. Once again, we see Vic reluctantly getting involved in something to his advantage. And once again, I think this is pretty much Dutch's episode because he's had this big knock of his confidence. His spirit is kind of broken a little bit here, and he does kind of look like he's going down a very dark path here after his little conversation with Vic. It's
Vic nearly corrupts him, nearly. And then he has that panic attack and he runs back to the scene. He jumps out of his car.
Yeah, and I think I might, even though I was rewatching it, did I miss something? Did he get the evidence back out?
I think he did, but we didn't see. So
he gets it. Yeah, he goes back and he takes it back.
Yeah,
and then he pivots. He pivots and grabs, with a moment of inspiration, grabs the candy bar in order to, you know.
Yeah, so he does get back. So he does kind of redeem himself a little bit though, because you can understand why he's very desperate. He needs this win. He's got Acevedo on his ass as well. Yeah. And I do kind of like the chemistry between Vic and Emma, even though he's basically just using her for his own selfish needs. And she probably is being a bit selfish with him as well. She's had a very abusive husband, and she's pretty much going to another guy who was a pretty dangerous bastard when you think about it. But we've got this other storyline with Shane, and once again, you just gotta love what an idiot he can be sometimes.
Totally led by his cop.
Such an irresponsible idiot. He gets himself in these fucking stupid situations, and who knows, if Vic probably didn't reel him in, he probably would get himself in much worse situations as well. And
yeah,
Jules,
I do like.
I am a little bit. He is kind of sort of putting himself in a more awkward situation. He did kind of redeem himself with coming clean, but at the same time, he's still staying with the lies. It's like he's taking 2 steps forward, but 3 steps back, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And once again, Tulip is great. She's a proper sociopath.
He tries to resist her, but he fails miserably.
I know. He does call her out. He does kind of humanize him a little bit, but she kind of gets her claws back into him again, and it's obvious that she's probably using him still, but she's done it to look like she really.
But I think he knows, and he's kind of like, you know,
he's horny.
Hey, if I can get the good, then why not? Yeah, okay, yeah. So, Darth, what did you think of this episode?
I think it's a great episode. I think it's the best Dutch episode since Dragon Chasers. And well, there was one earlier this year that was pretty good too. I think what the episode's about, honestly, is about self-control. So Vic had the problem with self-control. Obviously, he does. Shane had the problem with self-control because he's struggling with well, you know, these tulips. You know, not going there. Dutch obviously is having self-control because he doesn't want. When he in the conversation with Vic, I'm tired of seeing the bad guys get away with it. And then Marcy really stabbed him with that. And he almost committed a crime in this episode.
Yeah.
He almost pulled a bit, but he pulled back from it. That was his struggle with self-control. Stu is one of the guest actors and been the best characters, and obviously he had self-control issues. Marcy has self-control issues, and just go down the list. Everybody has self-control issues. I want to call attention to Claudette. So take Claudette at the first episode, season 1, where Claudette puts the dog poop in Dutch's desk.
Yeah, to bring him down a peg.
Yeah, I think that was in episode 1. Yeah, but now, so now we're in episode 7 of season 2, and now she's acting like a mother hen to Dutch. Very protective of him. Like she was very forceful with Vader, saying, "Hey, you need to lay off this guy. Hey, you need to let him do his thing." And what do you think, Dutch? So he was very, very proactive. It's come a long way since episode 1, season 1. I guess I'll close with the irony of Ronnie's character. So from the beginning of the episode, he was expressing a lot of doubt, or a certain amount of doubt about the wisdom of what they were doing and the safety of it. And look what happens at the end. There's a certain irony in there. Of all the people, when Vic goes to see him in the hospital, we didn't see it, but if Vic goes to see him in the hospital, he's probably going to say, "Yeah, I told you so." That's all I got.
No, I think your observation of the episode being about self-control for everyone is really astute. That's, and very, very on point. Good stuff. Inside Man, top that with your amazing, superior Wrath of Khan intellect.
I absolutely can't top that at all. I think that's a perfect summary of what the episode's about. And I agree. This is Dutch's episode. I think this, he does redeem himself. When he does go back. But yeah, you're right. He was almost there. He was kind of weighing up the situation to see, if he could get away with it or not. But of course, his conscience, thank goodness, took over, and and he just had to go back. And I was willing him not to do it. And I thought, of all the people, I just don't want to see this kind of corruption seeping into Dutch's character. I particularly like the situation that Vic has now got himself into, finding himself another role with another project with this girl, another protection project, if you like. I thought that was quite interesting, replacing Connie with this new girl.
I think he is overcompensating because of that. Yeah, for sure.
It's like he is moving from one project to another. Maybe it's a way of him making himself feel a little bit more moral. It's maybe kind of upping his own morality in his own mind. But of course, it's impossible really for Vic to do that. Because there are so many things now that he's done and that he is capable of doing that we all know of. And I'll always bring it back to look at what he did in the first episode. I mean, that's absolutely, there is no coming back from that, in terms of the morality. There is no way that he could return from that. But I thought it was a really good episode. Actually, I know I say this every week, but one of my favorite episodes, certainly one of my favorite Dutch episodes.
Okay, yeah, good. Toxic.
Yeah, can't do much better than what my counterparts here have said. I really like the whole control thing. I definitely I can't better it, but I can caveat onto it and just say that, yeah, I see that. What you guys see as with Vic, your minds go towards projects. See, when you're a sociopath, you still have some empathy. It's not being a total psychopath, and you have these needs to grab onto what your mind perceives as like regular life and regular people, and these good deeds in your mind you kind of compartmentalize and you weigh them out. So he starts thinking, well, I've robbed this drug dealer, but I also saved this crackhead, and yes, I killed this cop, but I also saved a baby. So that's how your mind starts to work. So maybe not so much of a project is definitely, and keep in mind, I don't think Vic would have been so altruistic and so quick to help her out if she was like a 300-pound, ugly Betty. It helps the fact that she's a cute chick with a nice body and a pixie haircut. So let's not fall all over ourselves seeing how, Vic's being a saint here. I was almost pulled out of this show when I saw how they were setting up, because the marketing for this, I can't believe I can remember this, but I remember the marketing being Dutch saying, I'm tired of people getting away with murder, and sulking, that one scene. Yeah. And then later, if he's going to cross the line with the bra clasp thingy. And I was like, man, if he does this, I'm not interested. I don't want to see, you can't have every character be a dirty cop that plants evidence. And this is coming from a dirty cop who used to plant evidence, by the way. But when he turns around and he decides to go at him another angle, loved it. And I especially love his damn right, I'm the best cop in here. Just putting it to Azevedo at the end. Yeah. Everyone's just like, oh, okay, he's back. So that's good. So great episode. Great episode. And it's hard to be a great episode near the back end of a season. As we propel towards the season finale, it's kind of a thankless job to be one of these episodes that isn't quite the season finale and isn't even the penultimate, but it's the thing that's propelling the plot towards it. So it's kind of hard, but good episode. All right, let's talk about the cast. Oh, sorry, I'm showing the wrong page. Let me change that. Let me take my Twitter down before someone fucking hacks that as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Fucking hell.
My Instagram got hacked, guys.
What?
They changed the email. Completely stole it from me. So if you get a message from me on Instagram, it's not me.
I don't have Instagram, but okay.
No, I mean, a lot of my friends are not on it anyway. Of all the social media accounts, it's the one I use the least. But incredibly frustrating.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to get back on it, no matter what I've done. And it's what really annoys me about these things is these are multi-million-pound platforms.
Yeah,
they can't have a fucking customer service number where you can speak to a human being. Seriously?
No. They used to have stuff like that back in the day with Friendster and stuff, and it became you got to remember that's the amount of people using it, and they don't have the infrastructure to do that. That sucks.
No, they don't want to offset the cost against their profits. Very simple.
Facts. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lance. That sucks, man.
Yeah, it's very annoying. Anyway, hey ho. So let us get back on. Mike, have I got an echo on? I feel like I'm echoing.
You're a little. The volume, it's coming down. Maybe I turn up my volume a little bit.
No, but is there an echo when I'm speaking?
No, I can't.
Not really.
I think I've got two windows open in StreamYard, and I don't know where one of them's gone.
Yeah, if you have multiple windows in StreamYard, I'm sure you know that it'll mess with your output a little bit.
Okay. All right. Anyway, I'll cope. So let's talk cast, supporting cast. Few contenders this week. Now I don't know if you guys recognise Melina White, who plays the woman who's in the abusive relationship.
I do.
Yeah, she had a very significant role in, I think it was Dangerous Minds.
Yep.
Yeah, with Michelle Pfeiffer. She was the young mother that was pregnant. Great actress. She's on my friends list on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I should have reached out to her actually, see if she wanted to come on.
Is
But,
she still good looking or what?
mate, she's black. Doesn't crack. Keep telling you these things.
Facts. Well, go for it, bro.
Yeah.
Go for it, buddy.
To get her on as a guest. Leave
Yes.
my love life out of this. Anyway, so Karen Melina White is here. She's still acting, and I think has her finger in a few other pies as well, career-wise, doing a bit of producing, stuff like that. But yeah, Bra is the last show she did, 16 episodes. So she's one contender. You also have Melanie Linsky plays Marcy Lindoff again. She's not in it for very long. Marguerite McIntyre plays Emma Prince. Nicole Hiltz, who plays Tulip. But I may have to quiz any men who pick her just to check that the reasoning is sound. We have Keith Diamond as Des. And Monet Michael as Vanessa. I like that actress. She's very good. Those are the guests, the main guest actors for this week. I'm gonna choose Melina White, Karen Melina White. She's my fave on this one. I picked Tulips before, so when she was in the show previously. So Northern, who's your fave guest actor on this episode?
I'm going to go to, I'm hoping I can pronounce her name properly, Marguerite McKinsey, who plays Emma, I think.
Marguerite McIntyre.
McIntyre, yeah, the name's kind of blocked out because there's not enough space on the bloody Internet Movie Database page. She does actually do a good job. You can sort of see why Vic is very attracted to her. She does seem to have a shit together, but at the same time, she does have some baggage, and she's got a strength to her as well that does feel very realistic. And I don't know, she seems to maybe be better for Vic than Connie was in the last one, because
definitely
I can't really describe it, but she's definitely got something about her though. She does seem to be aware just what kind of a guy Vic is as well. I mean, that little conversation she has with so so you just saw Vance with Vance, is like, welcome to my world, something along those lines anyway.
It's all part of my dance.
That's it. That's the line. Yep, and she still seems to be very accepting of his the fact that Vic is a bit of a brutal bastard when he needs to be.
Yeah. Okay. Darth, who's your guest actor?
Well, I like Emma a lot, but I got to go with a different guest.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Steve. And the reason why is because he if you watch the body language during the episode, I thought that he was saying a lot in that area.
Oh, you're talking about the suspect, the murder suspect.
Yeah, the murder suspect.
Yeah, he's got "sad lonely bastard" written all over him. So
this is his main picture on IMDb. Him passed out in the toilet.
That's terrible.
I was looking all over for him, but I couldn't find it. I was like, "Wait, is that him? That's got to be him."
Don't do that. He could be. You know what? I bet he's buff now. I bet he's buff.
Well, I mean, that's the only. Literally, that's his main photo. He put that up.
Right. Just my amateur observation.
He is still acting. Jimmy Kimmel Live was the last thing, but I mean, he hasn't done any film and TV since 2017. Doesn't mean he's not on stage. Yeah, he was good actually. Sorry, I should have mentioned him in the options at the beginning. You know, he's hard to miss, so I should have really mentioned him.
Yikes.
Yeah, Dutch will be upset with me. Inside Man.
Yeah, I was actually going to go for Fat Bloke as well. So it's Fat Bloke for me.
Mike Bruner. Okay.
Yeah, good old fat bloke.
So no fat shaming on my part. I'm going with Melanie Linsky, and man, it was hard to not pick Nicole Hiltz playing Tulips. I do love her, but I mean, she's basically just eye candy in that little sexy whispery voice, but Melanie Linsky elevates anything she's ever in. And God, her accent is I cannot. When I first heard her speak in her real accent, it blew me away. I couldn't believe that was the same person that I've been watching on TV and movies for so many years. Yeah, she's just and she really gives it to. If Dutch was already spiraling, she really puts it to him. And I don't even think. I don't want to go on a tangent, but I don't think she even meant to. I think she was just being honest, and I think Dutch knows that. It's really just.
I don't know. I mean, she's a psychopath.
Yeah,
so.
She is kind of right though. Like I didn't fool you. You fooled yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, did we just lose Lance?
Sorry,
all right, everybody. Welcome.
I just closed my double window. All good.
Oh, okay.
So I momentarily dropped out there.
We weren't worried. We knew you were coming back.
No, you would have just carried on regardless. Melanie is a great actress. I didn't pick her because she's not in the episode for very long. Does her character come back? I can't remember.
To my knowledge, she does not.
Afraid not.
Darth is on it.
Yeah, afraid not.
No. Okay. Yeah, I did wonder if that was going to come back.
Yeah, I didn't take that. I didn't take Melanie for the same reason you just said. She wasn't in the episode very long, even though it was a very creepy scene.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So we're going to lead actors. Who was our favourite lead cast member? Well, I've got it written down already. I mean, this is Jay Carnes' episode for me as Dutch. Great sort of narrative with his sort of internal monologue that he's having with himself, and yeah, he plays it really well. Love the scene where he hands Acevedo his hat at the end. And I love the scene where he goes at Fat Bloke, and Fat Bloke ends up almost choking the life out of him. So, yeah. And I'm taking the lead from the inside man on the character name there. So any anger from the public, please direct it towards him.
Or Harry Enfield.
Yeah. So yeah, Jay Carnes for me. Northern.
Jay Carnes is Dutch because, yeah, once again, he's proven to be kind of this very flawed man, but you do want him to succeed despite his shortcomings. And he does become a bit of a dick again at the end, but you kind of feel like he's earned it a little bit, though. Just a little bit.
Yeah, he's earned a little bit of redemption. I think.
Once again, he redeems himself. He almost desperately, out of desperation, nearly compromises his own morals.
I know.
And it just makes him so much more
human.
More conflicted.
But it's so good that he didn't. And Vic is like the the
devil on his shoulder.
Yeah, the devil on the shoulder, like the snake in the Garden of Eden. Come over to my way, and because then he knows he'll have shit on him and stuff. So Vic has not got his interests at heart at all.
Yeah, because he's still looking for someone to. Because he even said that he needs one more guy that he can control for the job, and I think he was trying to almost get Dutch on there a little bit there. But it does look like he may have Jules on his side after that little handshake he gave him.
Yeah. Okay, Darth.
Best lead Dutch. I'm not gonna go part company there, but I will say. Notice at the beginning of the episode, he's very defensive. He's defensive towards Acevedo, like okay. And he's talking to Marcy. He's what made you think you could fool me? He's very arrogant, very defensive.
Yeah.
And then he becomes almost depressed. And when he's talking to Vic, I'm the power of the bad guy getting away with murder. I don't know. I'm not wondering if he's actually telling the truth there. I'm wondering if what's actually bugging him is he doesn't like winning. He doesn't like getting beat. I think that might be really what's bothering him. Because look at the toward in the end of the episode when he's talking to Acevedo, he's really cocky. Like, well, of course I was gonna. But that sounds like someone that.
Marcy definitely got into his head, that's for sure. Inside man.
Yeah, it has to be Jay Carnes. I mean, as Darth just said, it's almost like he's not just a bad loser, but he's a bad winner as well, which makes him, even worse. But I thought he was it was brilliantly acted. I loved the slightly skewed Dutch that we were going to get. We were almost there. Like I say, I was almost screaming at the screen saying, "Don't do it! Don't do it!" Unfortunately, as we said, he had that redemption. But I did like the interview with Fat Bloke. I thought that was I thought it was really good. I like the way that he was goading him and just constantly sort of pricking him with these insults. And he knew what he was doing. Knew exactly what he was doing. But obviously, the call from Claudette, telling we found the clasp, and of course that was the telltale, wasn't it? He mentions we found the clasp, and he's completely not focused on that. He doesn't. He skims over the fact that he's been told that they've found the clasp, and of course he's just focusing on all of the fat references. But yeah, I mean, I thought Jay Carnes was great in this episode.
Toxic.
Oh, his mic's off.
Yeah, he's muted. You're muted, Tox. Oh, maybe he's had to step away.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Sorry,
favorite character this episode?
Yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to do this, and I know it's going to seem like I'm being contrarian, but I can defend my position. I'm going with Vic on this one. Vic just comes across, he's so dynamic because he has to deal with all these different issues more than he usually does. I also kind of dig the Irish shirt that he has on through the whole thing. He's looking pretty built, and he's just kind of the way he's dealing with all these different entities, Julian, Dutch, the caregiver lady, Aceveda, he's still dealing with the stuff on the streets and with Ronnie getting hurt and all this kind of stuff that happens. I go with Vic, and I do agree Jay Carnes is excellent, especially near the end when he pulls it out. But at the same time, the whole first 80% of it, with him playing the petulant, crybaby that's not getting his way, and he's going to lean towards the dark side, Willy Woney. I mean, it's fine for a little bit. It plays for a minute, but it gets kind of repetitive. Why do you want to hear from me? And, I was like, come on, man, it's too much, Dutch. I just wish they'd have handled it just a little bit better. But that's nothing to say against his performance. His performance was great, but I'm going to go with Vic on this one.
Okay. Controversial decision. All right. Let's move on. So favorite lines, standout scenes. My favorite line was really easy for me. Straight off the bat, it was Vic talking to Shane. Oh, it's the return of the penis flytrap. So that was my favorite line. My favorite scene is when Dutch goes at Fat Bloke. I just thought, Dutch has got like quite a sadistic side. Really comes out in that. He kind of loses his shit a little bit as well. I think he's not totally in control of what he's doing. He kind of takes it further than he intended. And then I like the fact that Fat Bloke jumps on him and nearly kills him. So yeah, good scene. That's mine. Northern.
Yeah, I think the line. Where is it? It's in my notes. Give me a second. Episode 7. Here we go. Sometimes you got to make the evidence fit the profile.
Yeah, that was a good line. That's the crossing the line. The crossing the line.
It is, and it does sort of spark something in Dutch as well, which I thought was very important to his, at least his character in the episode.
Yeah. Darth. Favorite line, favorite scene.
Best line, the exchange between Dutch and Marcy. What makes you think you could fool me? And she says, I didn't fool you. I just let you fool yourself. I mean, for goodness sakes, Dutch, how many times do you need to have your ass kicked by this lady?
Damn. Good point.
That's he's 0-2 on that. As far as the best scene, Well, I really like the scene where Emma throws the guy off the balcony, but I'm gonna I like that scene a lot. But I think the best scene, I'm gonna go with the end scene. Vic throws what's her name into the room, and then the mood changes like 180 degrees in reverse, and he finds Ronnie. I think that's the best scene because, like I said before, it portrays a certain irony.
Yeah.
Shock.
Inside Man.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Darth on the line. Just to keep it short and sweet, and I've got to be honest, I love the interview with Fat Bloke. I loved it. We saw a really dark side coming out, but obviously, you know, there've been certain things that were catalysts for that behavior, that kind of behavior, prior in the episode. But I thought it was really nice to see that nasty side of that cruel side of Dutch coming out there.
Yeah, agreed. Toxic.
I'm gonna go with best line. Probably gonna be when I know I said it wasn't his performance that made it for me, but I did like the line at the end when he's like, "Yeah, goddamn right, I clear more cases than anybody else," and you know, I really like that he stood up for himself. And you know, I mean, yeah, it's a little douchey, but at the same time, that's all right. It's okay to be a little douchey if you're the best.
It's very Dutch, though. It fits with his
very
character.
Dutch. Yeah, the aside that Benito does, where he's like, "Well, he's back." You know, it's in any other actor like that would have come off a little sitcom campy, but Benito did it great. And so just those two with each other is amazing. And
yeah, that could have been a line at the end of an episode of Police Squad. Well, he's back. Everybody freezes with a smile on their face.
But you know, when Benito is so, you know, he has such gravitas that he can pull that off, and you know, not a lot of actors can. He's so good. And his favorite scene is there's so many good ones, but I gotta tell you, on the rewatch last night, I feel so vindicated to be a toxic male, masculine, misogynist asshole, because for all her protestations against, you know, abusive, toxic males, as soon as she gets a chance, this chick goes for the very first one that she sees and just lets Vic throw her around the apartment or the hotel room. And, you know, I was like, vindicated. That's exactly, because they'll tell you that they don't want that feminism and all that, but what they really want is some big, tough, toxic asshole to just, you know, treat them like an option instead of the main choice. So loved it. Love that scene.
Never short of controversy when Toxic's on. Please note that the opinions of my guests are not endorsed by this channel. Okay, yeah, right. Let's move on then. So, nice and quick, which is good because I'm so wheezy. Ratings out of 10. I'll give this episode a solid 8. Good solid episode. Maybe lacks the dramatic impact of some of the others, although the ending was cracking. Yeah, maybe an 8.5. But yeah, good solid episode. I really liked it. Yeah, Northern.
So what was it? What was it? Favorite moment then?
No, your score out of 10. We've done favorite moment already.
8 out of 10.
What did you give it out of 10?
Yeah, give it run about an 8 out of 10.
Okay, cool. All right, Darth.
9.
9. Okay, Inside Man.
9.
9. England. 9.
He's saying no in German.
I must apologize for my country's conduct during the war. Anyway, yeah, a little Toxic.
Overall, I would have gone with an 8, but that ending scene of being vindicated gives it a 9. Solid 9.
All right, cool. Another great episode from The Shield. Whizzing on with equal pace and haste, we will proceed to episode 8. Episode 8, I believe, was directed by Paris Barclay.
Yes.
Yeah, great director.
Used to do Highlander, the TV series.
Yeah, he's got a very, very, people want to check out his resume. He's got a very, very impressive resume of directing credits, all kinds of television shows. Episode 8 is called Scar Tissue. It's written by Shawn Ryan, Kurt Sutter, and Kim Clements, which I think probably is the dream writing team of all the different people they can put together. Because we already talked about Kim Clements last week and put her with Kurt Sutter. This is really the hunt for Armadillo taking center stage. So Northern, if you would take away your briefest of summaries, please.
Yeah. After Ronnie is found banned wrestling the woman who donated a shitload of cash to fake Brad Pitt, the walls seem to be closing in for Vic and his team, as it's not just Armadillo out for their necks. Claudette is on them as well. Meanwhile, Dutch, Danny and Jules are investigating the beating of an old Asian man, as well as dealing with a serial bug sprayer.
Okay, that was very fast. Flows so well, I could almost think you were reading it off another website. So
I'm reading it off my notes.
All right, let's get into it. This is a good episode. This is really they're bringing the narrative of Armadillo to some degree to a close. It's a very strong episode. It's pretty violent, very gritty, in your face, and that hunt really is the central narrative. There's a number of other things happening in the episode. Tox, are these shots for this one?
Yes, sir, they are.
Oh, thank you very much. Scroll through those. Good episode. I liked it. Pretty easy to digest. Some good guest performances. Kind of there's like I say, the Armadillo thing is really the main thing. Julian gets a bit more screen time with his whole gay angst. And the wedding is looming. Dresses are being made. He comes clean about his homosexuality past to his wife to be. And then we got a subplot about a murder in Koreatown. I mean, that's okay. Didn't really grip me. I think that was really just they're working a case. It fills out the rest of the episode.
Filler.
Yeah. We have, I mean, the episode starts right where we left off with, Vic coming across Ronnie's burned face and getting him into hospital. And of course, Vic is demanding, he's got first dibs on Armadillo. You got the whole thing with CCH Pounder's character kind of knowing that if they can take Armadillo alive, she's going to find more information on Vic, so she wants to take him alive. That ultimately doesn't happen. Vic arranges for him to be killed in the cage by a guy who's going down for other crimes anyway. And it's a pretty intense episode. And then finally, Emma and Vic get to shag at the end. There's a nice sort of little narrative as well with Danny, where she's really kind of like she's lonely. She's looking for love. Her and Dutch have a moment, and Dutch blows it, and they could have kissed.
Right after she gets blown out by fucking Dutch, of all people.
Yeah. And it's just like, I think if Dutch wasn't so slow to pick up on what was happening, he probably would have gone for it. But he was slow, and then he is still seeing that woman.
Disagree.
Yeah,
well, I don't know. I don't know about his faithfulness with people, because the relationship that he's got with the woman he picked up from the crime is a bit, we don't see her again. I think she's very much kind of like fading from interest for him. But anyway, so a number of interesting things happening. Good episode. Northern, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I like the fact that shit is really getting real. One of their guys has just been attacked, and Claudette is just not giving up on taking them down. She does almost look like she's ready to work with Vic here a little bit, but she shows to be a bit dodgy herself when she starts. Once Vic's ex-wife comes in and she starts interrogating and making it look like she's just out to find out how he can prevent Armadillo from coming back. And this guy comes back. He comes back and he gets a nice little line after he gets beaten up. But
the bug spray storyline is a bit fucking silly, but sometimes you get these weirdos who do this stupid shit, and yeah, it does add a bit of realism to it. And I do like this convict who kind of saw an opportunity with Armadillo, but now he just wants to go back to jail because it's turned out not to be the best deal that he has. And I do like how Vic almost looks like he may be willing to give up, but is he just playing them? Was he kind of encouraging Shane and Lem to stash the knife on on the ex-convict and in order to stab Armadillo? And once again, Armadillo is really showing what a genuine threat he is. He doesn't scream or lose control. He is always in control no matter what. And he's chilling to watch. The guy just does not give a fuck. He has no empathy, no feeling whatsoever towards the people he harms. He's just he's so despicable. And you get the other storyline with the Asian kid, and it's the Asian kid does a good job, but it's not the best of the little B-C storylines that they have in this show. But yeah, it's a good episode, but I don't like the fact that even with Armadillo taken out of the picture, this is still gonna come back on Vic because Claudette's on them, and she is really not willing to back down from this.
So the Asian kid in this episode, incidentally, is played by actor Sung Kang, and if he looks familiar, that's because he went to have a major role in the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah, I thought I recognised him.
Yeah.
My wife did not like this fucking scene. She doesn't like seeing dogs getting killed.
Funny enough, I'm going to talk about the dog scene in a bit. Yeah, that scene was kind of nuts, but I'm gonna talk about it.
He was attacking him though. I mean, fucking hell, it's
yeah, I know. Yeah.
He didn't have to. He didn't have to shoot it 3 more times.
That's what I'm going to talk about in a bit.
Yeah, because he's real petty. Like, the dog attacked him. It's like, well, fuck you for biting me. Bang, bang, bang.
Darth, anything you want to say about this episode? Did you pick up on a theme for this episode?
Well, soft tissue. Well, first of all, let me say this has not been Danny's year.
No. She gets canned off for opposite.
As far as soft tissue goes, I think that's a reference to Vic's family and his squad, because Armadillo and Claudette are both going after Vic in this episode. Claudette's going after Vic by going after his wife. So that's soft tissue right there.
Threat to family.
Scar tissue.
Yeah, and of course we have another exciting episode of LA weirdness, the bug spray guy. This is almost coming like Batman. Forget Gotham City. LA is more weird than Gotham. Does anybody think that the Armadillo angle ended abruptly?
Yeah.
You did
feel
I
a bit with that. Yeah, I did. It was slightly unsatisfying, I thought.
Yeah, I was very unsatisfied with how it ended. I don't mean the scene itself. I'm just the fact that it ended. Like, so it wasn't that long ago we were talking about green lit. Like you've been green lit, and then we didn't see anything come of that. Nothing came of it.
Yeah. And
then Ronnie gets burned. Okay, that was a good escalation. And now and then kaboom, it's in. It's over. Yeah. I don't know what to take about that. However, I will say that Vic be prepared to take the fall is a very powerful scene in this episode. If we have time, I'll talk about consanguinity, about the Thailand thing. But that's all I got for now.
Okay. Inside Man.
Yeah, I have to say I was a little disappointed at the abrupt kind of conclusion with the Armadillo scenario. It was quite unsatisfying. That was satisfying to a degree, but it wasn't how I was expecting things to play out. I thought it was going to be a lot more protracted and a bit more tense than the way it did play out. But I don't know. There were several parts of this that I think we've already said it. I think everyone's mentioned it about the bug spray and the Thai lad. It was just kind of filling the episode out, and I didn't think that it needed that. It didn't need anything to fill it out. there was so much plot going on with Vic and Armadillo and with Claudette that we could have had the entire episode about that story, about
Yeah, I would agree.
yeah, you know, and I didn't like. Obviously, I was disappointed in Claudette. I thought she was quite underhand the way she approached Vic's wife. I thought that was really quite underhand, and it made me dislike her quite a bit. Actually, I didn't like her for that. But then that's good. That's good writing and good acting, because it did exactly what I suppose it was intended to do for some certain members of the audience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nobody's good all the time in this show.
yeah, yeah,
That's what's great about it. Everyone's
yeah.
human. Everyone has flaws. Not everyone makes the right decision all the time.
But we had the moment where Vic is almost in a panic. He really doesn't know what to do, and of course, the rest of the remaining members of the strike team, they kind of get a grip on the situation. But I think it's the first time that we really do see Vic in a bit of a panic, because it's almost like he really genuinely cannot see any other way out other than taking a fall, and a massive fall. But yeah, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I mean, for all of the criticism that I have for it, I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Ooh, hello.
Uh-oh.
Hello. Uh-oh.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Toxic Rewatch of The Shield. I'm your host, Lord of Toxicity. I'll be standing in for Lance this afternoon. And
oh, sorry, I was muted. I was going.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tox. Yes, I can hear you. But yeah, go ahead.
Definitely. I kind of no offense, Inside Man. I think you read this episode wrong. I don't see anything wrong with what Claudette did. She has been tired. You have to keep in mind that Aceveda and Vic keep kind of sidelining her, doing her job, and she's going another route. That's a standard cop practice. I mean, it sucks that it's a cop's going to go after the person who's going to snitch the most. And I mean, fair play. I mean, the wife's character, she's not played it to be super bright. She's definitely not street smart as you would think a cop's wife would be, and she gets in her own way a lot. So Claudette's smart. She's going to go after her and see if she can get some information out of her. She's been stonewalled every other way. They've been playing dirty. Why can't Claudette play a little dirty? And I don't even know if that's playing dirty. But yeah, no, great episode. More validation for me all through this episode. If you have a woman and you are successful, women that previously didn't want you all of a sudden want you. And I just love that Danny gets shut down at every opportunity. Because remember, season 1, man, she wouldn't have wiped her feet on Dutch. And in this one, she gets to get friend zoned. Then she has to go for Vic, and then Vic shuts her down for another chick, because basically Vic knew that chick was waiting for him at the end, and the fact that the chick was waiting for him at the end. Oh God, this is such a great episode for guys like me. So and the fact that the little cheerleader cops were like giggling and like seeing how all of a sudden cute Dutch is because he turned Danny down. All of a sudden, I read it wrong when I was younger. When I was younger, I watched the episode. I thought they were giggling over gossip, but really they were giggling because they thought all of a sudden, I see it. I could see it. Dutch is cute because he turned down a chick that was previously out of his station. God, so predictable. Mate choice copy. That's what that's called, guys, just so you know. But yeah, and as far as the villain thing, I agree with you guys as far as the big bad being taken out abruptly and quickly, but I will submit to you that doesn't change through the entirety of this show. Because really what you fail to realize is Vic is the big bad of this show. Vic's not the protagonist. He's the bad guy. So all of these other, armadillos and, the Armenian foot chopper and, later, the other detective that comes in, all these other people are just They're just side characters. You know, they write them off very abruptly because at the end of the day, Vic is the bad guy.
By the bad guy, you mean he's an antagonist?
Yeah, Vic's the bad guy. Shot a cop in the face the first episode. Vic's the bad guy. They just try to make us forget about it through the entirety of the show. They, you know, and again, I feel for Vic that point where he sees his family. I think it's not only that Vic can't see another way out, but to give up. Look at these guys' face. These guys' faces like, look what we did. It's not that Vic can't think of a way out. It's the fact that he's just tired. He's just tired. He saw his family, he got to wave to his daughter for a second, and he's just ready to give up.
Maybe he's not an antagonist. Maybe he's an anti-protagonist.
No, he's a bad guy. 100%. He's the I get what you're saying. I mean, for years, as I said last season when we were watching season 1, I myself read this wrong. I mean, I'm able to see it with a lot clearer eyes now. And Vic is basically the Walter White, the Tony Soprano. Like we're not supposed to root for this guy. They're evil men doing evil things.
I agree.
But I think that's why I was perhaps slightly irritated and annoyed at Claudette, because I don't want her to get too close to what's happening. I don't want her to be too much in the know and discover and uncover these different things. I don't know. It's I'm kind of rooting for Vic, but I'm not. You know, I mean, the guy needs taking down, but I'm kind of rooting for him in a weird way. I don't know. I just don't want Claudette to get too close to the truth too soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fair.
Okay. Let's talk about the supporting cast. So, in this episode, the key actors supporting the lead cast, guest roles, are a few familiar faces who've been in other episodes. We have Lucinda Jenny back as Lanny Kelly. She's mainly in it towards the end. We have Danny Pino, of course, as Armadillo, or Armadillo if you use Northern's pronunciation. Kathy Cahill-Ryan as Corinne. Marguerite McIntyre again as Emma Prince. You've got David Ribbon as the sort of informant of Dutch on the Street. We have Sung Kang. I think he was very good. You could see how talented he was.
Yeah, well.
and then we have a couple of other people that play very sort of minor characters, 2 lines here, 3 lines there, sort of thing. Yeah. So I'll probably give it to Danny Pino on this one, because he doesn't have a lot of dialogue in this episode, but he's so menacing. And he really brings that gravitas to every scene where you're chilled to your spine about what he may or may not do next. So, yeah, he's my choice for guest actor for the week. Northern.
Yes, Amadeo to me, because once again he's just got this presence to him. He's very quiet. He just speaks very quietly and patiently. There's a patient menace to it, and it just comes off the screen really well. He just brings a lot of power by doing so little.
Yeah, agreed. Darth.
I hear what you're saying about Armadillo, that the scene with Vic and him in interrogation was really good. But I think I'm going to go with a different character. I really like the portrayal of the Mexican guy that had just been released from prison. I think his name was Lil Pops. I liked how he did that role. I thought that was pretty well done.
Oh yeah, you're talking about is that Frank Gallegos?
Yeah, that guy was really scary. Yeah. That was pretty cool with that for sure. Also, I want to get a quick shout out to Van Bro because I think it's a hilarious character. I really like that guy. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, actually, Frank Gallegos was very good. Inside Man.
Danny Pino, I think. I just didn't see enough of him. I really wanted to see more, but what you saw of him, it kind of sticks with you. Again, he's one of these characters that it doesn't matter whether he's in an episode or not, you still regardless of the references to the character, you still kind of feel that he's in that world, that he's lurking around somewhere. So he's kind of in it when he's not in it, if you know what I mean. But I really like him. I really rate him.
Okay, all right.
You mean you're talking about the Boogeyman Effect?
Yeah.
Toxic.
Yeah. So I just guest star wise got to be Danny Pino. I think he had another. You'd know better than me, Lance. I think he had. Besides the fact they had to write him off the show for necessity, didn't he? Did he start one of those other TV series you mentioned before? Around this time?
I mean, it does. I was going to say this. It does feel like he was written out prematurely. It felt like that scene probably should have been when he gets murdered. Probably should have been the penultimate scene in the last episode. And I do wonder about that. Let's just have a look at his CV and see, because this season was shot, I think, around 2003.
Yep,
I want to say.
Yep, you're correct.
Yeah, I mean, he did it may have been that he was pulled out to shoot that amazing pilot, NYPD 2069, which, as we know, went on to be a very successful show with 20 seasons.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if he was a showrunner in that, or meant to be a showrunner, as opposed to just the villain of the
week.
He
could have been a lead in it. I mean, absolutely, lead in a pilot. Well funded, might go somewhere. You're gonna want to go and film that, aren't you? So that could have been it. Who knows? It's difficult to say, isn't it? Really.
But yeah, his he definitely, of all the villains for all the seasons, with maybe the exception of one that I won't mention due to spoilers, that comes across in I believe season 4 or 5. Besides that, I think he's probably one of the scariest villains. He really was insulated very well. They had a really tough time with this guy, and I agree. I would have liked to have seen more of him. I would have liked his story to be wrapped up a little cleaner, but I can also, I've seen, shot callers that have been ousted going after the new shot callers, and somebody gets shivved in a holding cell or whatever. So I think that's okay. He didn't need to be a big glorious, end to his character, but his presence is felt even when he's not there. That, he was definitely playing chess amongst checker players during this season. So, yeah.
Wasn't it also hinted that there may be another big bad that he was working for?
I never got that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I never really felt that. I mean, unless you mean just generally like the cartel, which obviously all things that are drug related in that part of the country or in others, they all serve towards the cartel ultimately. So, I mean, yes, maybe. But I don't think that was ever really fleshed out. They had a lot of stuff going on with the Armenian money train and this, and, the corruption thing. So I think bringing in a cartel heavy would have been a little too much. But I mean, I get what you're saying. But no, I think either he had another project to go do, or they just didn't quite know what to do with it. Or maybe it was just like a nice smack. Keep in mind that this guy is a child assaulter, so that's like, good for him, bleeding out on the floor in the jail. I like that for him. So
okay, all right, cool. So lead cast, this is a harder one to pick out one of the leading cast for this episode. Look at this guy's gnarly face.
So, you keep holding up my line. I was looking at the menu. It's burgers and hot dog.
Yeah, that was all. That was a pretty funny scene. Yeah, I mean, I'm probably gonna favorite character for this episode. It's a toss up between Vic and Danny for me. Because I kind of like seeing Danny fall apart a little bit. She's normally has a bit more control. She kind of loses it very much in this episode, and yeah, so I'm going to give this one to Catherine Dent, I think, for me. Okay, Northern.
Catherine Dent is very good. I will have to go to Steen CCH Pounder, because she's really fighting dirty, and I kind of like this little twist on this character, because in a way she does deserve to get to call out Vic and Acevedo on their bullshit. She does deserve to get some kind of justice for what they did to her on there last time with Armadillo. It's she actually does deserve to be in charge of that station, not bloody Acevedo, because he's a self-serving prick, and Vic is a bloody sociopath who does a lot of corrupt shit. So yeah, and I love the fact that she's really determined more and more. She is just not backing down. She is getting what she can on Vic's wife, everything she can, every little detail. She is not messing around. I love her for it. So that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a silence there. So yeah.
Oh, sorry, mute again, Darth.
Honestly, I was wondering if I was going to be the only one to say Catherine Dent. So thank you, Lance, for doing that. My pick's Danny as well.
Great. We love Danny. Inside Man.
I'm gonna go for CCH Pounder because I don't like what she did. I don't like what Claudette did, and I love her for making me dislike what she did. That sounds slightly paradoxical, if you like, and contradictory, but it's really a testament to her acting ability, really, that made me dislike her that much in those scenes. I think she's terrific. I love the fact that she is that dog with a bone. She is that gadfly. She is that nuisance. That she keeps picking that scab, and I just think she's terrific. I really, really think she is absolutely terrific. But I'm on her side. I'm on CCH Pounder's side for this because she made me dislike what she was doing. She made me dislike her, and that's down to brilliant acting. Yeah.
All right, Tox.
Yeah, CCH for the win. I almost went a little bit for Dutch because I liked how he was playing the. Now that he's scored a big win, he's kind of playing the know-it-all a-hole, including eating an apple for like an entire scene, which is that's. Anytime you want to get somebody to look like a jerk, you get them to eat an apple on screen. but yeah, CCH, and man, I am not seeing what you guys are seeing. Like, this is standard cop stuff for her to do this stuff, and you bring in the wife and ask the wife what's going on with the financials. These are honest questions. Vic's dirty. He's breaking the law. It's totally permissible for her to go at. In fact, I mean, really, up to this point, her not doing this was kind of a dereliction of her duty. I mean, Vic is wrong. People are dying because of the stuff that Vic is doing, trying to cover his own ass. So, see, and her before, she was almost like exasperated in the things that she was doing. She's getting frustrated and exasperated. In this one, she's dressing cleaner, she's looking meaner, and she's just kind of got this like, I'm coming after you. You guys are in the wrong. And I like how she checks Acevedo at the end of the episode. She's like, you just now realize that you screwed up just now. Really? You don't realize what you're doing.
That was a good scene.
So God, she's so good. I mean, a lot of people will think of The Shield and think of Chiklis as like the role of his lifetime, and I'm not saying they're wrong, but man, you got to admit, as great as she's been, this is the role of CCH Pounder's life. She plays the shit out of this role. She slaps in every scene she's in.
Yeah, well, I can't disagree. I vote for CC quite frequently, so I thought that Catherine Dent, I'd heard you from me. But they don't make it easy for us because everybody's always so good. Okay. Yeah. Favorite scene, favorite line. My favorite scene is the one on screen where, the favorite line is in the scene, really. You mentioned it earlier. I just love it when, like Lem kills the dog. Shane's so annoyed that he got attacked by the dog. He put several more rounds into the dog. It's very telling about Shane, but totally in with his character. So yeah,
Yeah.
Northern.
But don't forget, these kind of dogs are bred to be really fucking vicious and
Yeah,
aggressive.
they kill people.
Yeah, and a lot of time they get put down after they get taken in, so because this can't be controlled.
We had somebody who was killed by one not that long ago in the UK. So anyway, Northern, what's your favourite line and scene?
It's got to be the one where CCH Pounder, right after Armadillo is stabbed, she goes up to Armadillo and Vic, and I can't really remember the exact line, but I know she calls him out. She knows that Vic was the one that burned his face. She says she knows.
Yeah, she exposes the entire thing that Vic's been doing. She exposed,
exactly. It's my favorite moment as well. It's my favorite moment. It means shit is really getting real with Claudette right now.
Yeah.
Yes, you better fucking watch out. That's what she's saying. Love it.
Okay, Darth.
Off the top of my head, the line that comes to my mind is when Claudette's talking to the wife, or after that actually, where what's her name, Chlorine? Yeah, Chlorine says to Vic, "I got more truth from Claudette in an hour than I got from you in a year." And I think this is I like that line because it goes to what I was talking about last year, that I don't think Vic loves his wife. He loves his children, yes. I'll stipulate that in this sort of perverse way, but I don't think he loves his wife, and I think that line is a proof of that. Best
I think you're right.
Yeah, best scene. I'll probably go with the scene where they were in the squad room, and he's laying it out. This is a big change for Vic. Vic's not usually the one who's showing contrition and subdued. He's subdued in the scene. He's showing contrition. Like, yeah, I did that. This is on me. I'm going to take the hit. So that's why I'm picking that scene, because you've never seen that from Vic before.
Okay. Inside Man.
Well, I'm going to go with exactly the same choice that Northern made, and favourite scene with Claudette and Aceveda. And my favourite line is when she says, you've only just realised that you were mistaken.
Yeah, that's a good line.
And it was, I just thought it was just brilliant. I mean, it sort of topped the episode. I thought that whole scene, that exchange between them. I mean, Aceveda's looking really quite sheepish, and at that point you're sort of wondering, hang on a minute, who's the superior officer here? Which one of these people actually runs this gig? And it really looks like it's Claudette. She's the one that has the head screwed onto the shoulders properly. But I'm still going to maintain that the only reason that I didn't like what Claudette did, it was because I don't want her to get too close to the truth too soon. But I thought she was great. Yeah, that's a great scene. I love that scene.
Yeah, CCH Pounder always brings an extra level. Okay, all right. Well, ratings out of 10. Oh, sorry, Toxic. I nearly forgot you there.
That's all right.
Just testing. Testing.
No.
Well done, you passed. Good interruption.
Yeah. Inside Man, I would say that definitely, even though Aceveda is the superior ranking, she is the superior officer.
Oh, yeah.
See what I did there? All right. Yeah. Definitely my favorite line in here is when, he says, "My kids and my family's off limits." And she says, CCH says, "Well, tell that to Armadillo." And he just barks at her, "I'm telling it to you." And it's also my favorite scene because she doesn't back down. She's like, "No, I'm not. No, I've given you all the grace I'm going to give you. I've done all the looking away I'm prepared to do. No, I'm going to come at you how I'm going to come at you, and you're going to take it." And I think from where I stand from that scene, I think Vic backs down. The look on his face, she doesn't look away. he looks down and then turns around. I watched that scene 3 times in order also to do the slides, and I think she backs Vic down in that moment. I think she does.
Well, when Vic says his line back to her, he goes really loud, make sure like everybody in the office can hear it, and like everybody stops what they're doing. You can hear a pin drop kind of moment.
Yeah.
So just going to welcome JonesyBot 5000 to the channel. Every computer should have a JonesyBot 5000 app installed. Maybe it'll stop my Instagram from being hacked. Big fan of The Shield. So thanks for this one. One of my favorite shows, mate. We're going to do the entire thing. You can go back and watch our other episodes. We have also had a couple of actors from The Shield on the channel. Check out the industry interviews. You will find them there. Okay, so ratings out of 10. We're going to bulldoze through this pretty quickly. I'm going to give it a straight up 9. Northern.
Yeah, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, you know. It does have the odd little silly storyline, but it kind of does give the show a bit of pacing anyway. You know, just having the odd little silly little crime that the ones in the uniform have to fucking take care of. You know, the mundane ones, but. It's a very solid episode, though, and even though it was a little bit anticlimactic with the big bad, it kind of does add a bit of nihilism to the show.
I will say one thing, actually, on the murder of armadillos. Several people have picked up on it. One thing that is good about that death is you don't actually expect it to happen then, because you're of the mind this story will continue probably another 2 episodes.
Yeah.
You know, what's going to happen next. So when it does happen, it is actually quite a good dramatic beat. It's quite a shock. You know, you're like, oh, fuck, he stabbed him, you know.
Yeah, I'd go with that.
Yeah,
I was expecting him to end up in the hospital after, but no, he's on the floor.
No, he's dead.
Out. He's dead.
He's brown, red dead, and can now go off to play True Detective or whatever. But but that was a good turn on that. Darth, what's your rating out of 10?
I'm gonna go with an 8. I still don't. I thought that there was wasted motion in this episode, and I didn't like how they concluded it with the armadillo issue. I don't buy what you're. I hear what you're saying, Lance, and I'm not. I don't buy that because it feels like a Ryan Johnson kind of ending. Like we're just gonna.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, we're just gonna throw it. We're just gonna throw it overboard just to get people to go. I wasn't expecting. I didn't see that coming. That's all I got.
Okay. Inside Man.
Yeah, I'd go with an 8. I think it really fell down for me. I mean, this is terrible, isn't it? I mean, just saying that you know an 8 is a low score for me on this, but it was really the bug spray thing and you know the Thai community thing. It did feel a little bit too padded, and I was really quite dissatisfied with the armadillo death. I would have liked it a little bit more, you know, lengthier and drawn out into an entire episode. I would have liked that whole episode of these two, you know, really going at it. But so yeah, it's an 8.
Okay, Tox.
Yeah, same, and for the same reasons. I definitely think the B subplots could have been, you know, they're very slavish to that style on this show, and I think in this instance they could have just been like, all right, we don't need the Thai murders or the beat. You know, I mean, I get why they did it because they wanted everybody tied up, but it was silly and it messed with the pacing, and I think I think Armadillo could have used more plot for his ending with that. But yeah, and I also, as a, you know, the cop stuff, there's no way Danny would be on the hook for that. And I can explain more in the next episode next time we do this, or whenever you want. But yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Okay. All right. So slightly opposing views. Of course, just remember it's my channel, so my view is always correct. Yeah, okay. So that's episode 7 and 8 of The Shield. We did rush through it at a slightly brisker pace today because Inside Man is going on a special mission tomorrow, so he has an early start.
Nice.
I'm feeling quite poorly, so and somewhat hungover and rather exhausted. But I didn't want to postpone. So coming up next on the channel, we have Industry Interview 100 and Industry Interview 99. I don't know what Industry Interview 99 is yet because I'm waiting for a few people to confirm. But 100 is I'm bringing back some of the guests from Industry Interview 1.
Nice.
Jason Flemyng and the Critical Drinker, both confirmed for February the 12th, which I think is a Wednesday. It's already up on the channel. And because we've already interviewed Jason, what I'm going to do with my guests is there are going to be 6 genres of films. And they have to pick for each genre that I've chosen their go-to film in that genre.
Nice.
So, you know, what is the film in that genre that's they immediately like, oh yeah, it's got to be that one, or you know, what's the one that's got the best repeat viewing. So yeah, I can't wait to see what Drinker's gay love drama favorite one is. So it's going to be good. That is not one of the categories. The categories are
should be though.
Political thriller. I mean, it could be, but he probably hasn't seen any. Political thriller, historical epic, comedy, science fiction or science fiction drama, and what was the other one? And another one, which is a surprise, and I definitely intended it to be that way. So, yeah, so 6 categories. So it'll be more like a kind of chat about around those topics, and I think that'll make it quite interesting and also make it quite relaxed and quite fun. So, and you know, Jason's been on my channel a number of times already. I think the last thing he probably wants to do is talk about life on a film set again. So it'll be nice for us to talk about favorite movies in certain genres. So there we are. So we'll be back next Sunday for the next 2 episodes. I think the Sunday after that, there might be a break. Tuesday, of course, at 10 o'clock, we have the Nielsen ratings where we review films and TV shows, old and new, that we like to recommend to you. Occasionally, we commit to watching one that we think is going to be good, actually turns out to be pants. But mainly, we're there to recommend you stuff. Occasionally, we may warn you off something. Yeah, and so that's everything that we've got going on. So just remains for me to thank my panelists. Toxic has got a book out called Slapdash. Do check that out. It's available on Amazon now. It definitely isn't at all based on his life in numerous institutions and working for official government agencies.
Not at all.
No,
not at all.
So, but yeah, do check that out. Please do support my fellow panelists. Thanks for everyone popping in the chat. Our live viewers were slightly down this week. I don't know why, but I guess you just never know who's going to tune in. And also, I couldn't promote the stream on my Insta because my Insta, you know, I can't use it. So very frustrating. So yeah, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed the show. Always a pleasure talking about this show because it is one of the best cop shows ever made. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It's all available on Amazon to watch now. If you have an Amazon account, you can watch it for free. All right, we'll speak to you soon.
Today, he's creative, we're creative. How about you? Share your passion, join the crew.